Bring your ladies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really solid the ball. Knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York. Oh, the butcher and the baker and the people on the street, where do they go? To meet the Mets. Oh, they're hollering and cheering and they're jumping in their seats, where do they go? To meet the Mets. All the fans are true to the orange and blue, so hurry up and come on down, cause we got ourselves a ball from the Mets of New York town. Give 'em a yell, give 'em a hand, and let 'em know you're rooting in the stand. Come on and meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and meet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed you have the time of your life because the Mets are really solid the ball. Knocking those home runs over the wall. The east side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York. Of New York.
Welcome, everybody. This is CP Cards and Dice. I hope everybody's doing well. This is your home for chat, tutorials, strategy, player profiles, history, news, and much, much more. We are replaying the 1969 Mets season. Now, this is a game I've played before, and these two pitchers, Gibson and Seaver, meet earlier in the season, and then they meet on April 11th, I believe it is, again. And I've played this multiple times. I had an issue with the stats and lost some stats, so I'm having to replay it again. Not a bad game to replay. So I decided I was going to stream this game. And we're right about to get started. We're using Replay Baseball to keep track of the whole season. So we have all these stats for all the teams and so forth. I am learning to work the Replay Baseball computer system, so bear with me in certain instances, but pretty much I've got most of it down. I'd say about 85% of it down. There's a couple of things like double switches that I'm still learning, and that's going to be it. We're going to get started. There's a lineup. That's why I lose that. I got it now. I figured this out now. Okay. To do a double switch. All right. I'm not going to worry about double switch. Hopefully I don't have to make one in this game. I'm going to try to avoid it. But we're right about to get started. And let me go over the lineup real quick here. For the it's going to be Tommy Seaver versus Lou Brock. No, it's going to be Bob. Excuse me. It's going to be Bob Gibson versus Bud Harrelson. The Mets are at St. Louis, so it's going to be Bud Harrelson leading off at shortstop. Kenny Boswell at second base, batting second. Batting third is Amos Otis, future Kansas City Royal throughout the 70s. Batting cleanup is left fielder Cleon Jones. Batting fifth is Ed Kranepool. Batting sixth is Ron Swoboda, the right fielder. The catcher, batting seventh, is Jerry Grody. Batting eighth is Kevin Collins. This is the first game he's starting. He has no average. And then it's Tom Seaver batting ninth. Let's see. All right. Well, we're about to get started. And here goes. Bob Gibson. Bob Gibson was 20-13 and a 2.18 ERA versus Buddy Harrelson. Tough pitch. Let's see what Buddy can do with it. And nothing. Strike 3. So Gibson blows one by Buddy Harrelson to start the game off. Let's move this to the side so we have space. Kenny Boswell next. He's a left-handed batter. And he's showing his patience. And that's ball 4. So the Mets have a base runner, Kenny Boswell. Kenny Boswell had 7 stolen bases. Let me try to steal. We needed a 4 for that. We don't get it. Amos Otis. Here's the pitch. A 6 is a tough 62, strike 3. 2 out. So Gibson has 2 strikeouts, and it's Cleon Jones. Now, this is the offensive player for the Mets in 69. Again, a tough pitch, 94. Fly ball, shallow left. In comes Brock, makes the catch, and that retires the side. Mets lead 1, score none. We go to the bottom of the first. It's going to be Brock in left field leading off. Batting second is Curt Flood. Veda Pinson in right field batting third. Joe Torre in the cleanup spot at first base. Batting fifth is Carver, the catcher. Batting sixth is the third baseman Shannon. Batting seventh is second baseman Hunts. Batting eighth is the shortstop Maxville. And batting ninth is Bob Gibson. Good morning, Philip. How are you, brother? All right, here's the pitch from Seaver to Lou Brock. That's a wheelhouse pitch. Wheelhouse pitch 0-5, and that's a deep drive to left field. And back goes Cleon Jones to the track, to the wall. It's out of here. 1-0. St. Louis Cardinals. Holy smokes. Lou Brock hit 12 home runs, so he's got a little bit of pop in that bat. Gets a hold of a Seaver fastball. These guys mostly threw fastballs, curveballs during this time. Looked it up. Curt Flood. A tough 99. That's going to be a pop-up. And that's Collins. Makes the catch. 1 down. Curt Flood is out. Veda Pinson. In play 48. And that's a ground ball. Third base. Collins fires to first. So Collins has had a hand in the first 2 outs for the Mets in this game. And now it's Joe Torre. That's a ballpark 52 against a right-handed batter, goes up to 41. So this is going to be in play on Torre's card. And in play 95 is a fly to left. There is Jones. Squeezes it, and that retires the side. Ed Kranepool against Bob Gibson. Strike 3. Again, Gibson with his third strikeout. Gets Kranepool. Swoboda. And this ball is just outside of the hit tough range. And it flies. It's a fly out to center field. Out there is Curt Flood to his left. Makes the catch. And Jerry Grody. Oop, that's a foul ball. Souvenir for Lucky Fan. That's defense. We're pulling a card out here. Defense tells us range second base. Second baseman is Hunts today. Steve Hunts is at second base. He's a D range, which is 1 to 56. We roll a 34. So that's going to be some sort of hit. It's going to be a single. What did I do with that card? All right. So it's a single for Grody off a range check. Gets the ball by Hunts at second base. And it's Collins now. So Grody singles, and it's Collins. Snake Eyes, that's wheelhouse 70, though. Very, very high pit. Very high die result. And that's a deep fly to center field. Back goes Flood and makes the catch. So Collins gives it a ride, but not enough. McCarver, bottom of the second. Tough pitch by Seaver, and that's a strikeout. And McCarver's not a guy who's easy to strike out. Against righties, he only strikes out on a 1 to 12. But that we rolled a 12 on that. Mike Shannon, third baseman. In play 59. Fly out to right. Hey there, Mr. Molly. How are you? Sounds good. Glad I could be here to help you pass your day, my friend. Stevie Hunt. Stevie Hunt's actually batted 213 versus right. He's in here today in the actual lineups. There's 2 outs. The pitch from Seaver. That's a tough pitch, a tough 45. That's strike 3. So both Gibson and Seaver are lighting it up. And now Seaver's at the plate against Bob Gibson. Seaver's a 3-pitcher hitting card. That's a 6. That's a tough. A 62, strike 3. 4th strikeout for Gibson. Fans, Seaver now. It's Buddy Harrelson, the leadoff batter. That's an in-play 72. Fly out to center. 2 down. And Kenny Boswell. 10, that's in play 0-1. And that's going to be a ball that's pulled down the line into the right field corner. After it is Pinson around first and into second base with a double is Kenny Boswell. A 2-out double for Kenny Boswell. So the Mets now have the tying run in scoring position here in the top of the 3rd. Amos Otis. Now, I can't tell you what these guys did earlier in the game because I don't seem to have access to that. I'm doing manual entry, and that changes things a little bit. So Gibson is 0 for 0. No, I don't see. All right, so I do have stats on Bob Gibson. All right, I have some stats now. I was able to click and so Gibson so far this season has 20 innings pitched, allowed 23 hits, 174 ERA. Amos Otis has 15 at bats and 2 hits, so he's batting 133 on the season. All right, here's the pitch to Otis. Oh boy, that's a wheelhouse. An 18, and that's going to be a ball blooped into right field, and second baseman Boswell, if he's a 6 or better, he's going to score. And this game is tied, and Boswell's a 7. So around third is Boswell. The throw to the plate is cut off, and it's a 1-1 ball game. So a clutch single, clutch 2-out single by Amos Otis ties the ball game. Bob Gibson against Cleon Jones. Let's see what kind of speed. He had 1 stolen base, so he's not going to be going. In play 0-8, and that is line drive into left field. Going to third is Otis, first and third with 2 outs. Cleon Jones singles with 2 outs. Ed Kranepool. In play 95. That's a fly ball, right field, and that retires the side. Dal Maxville against Tom Seaver. Bottom of the 3rd, 1-1 ball game. Snake Eyes 51. That's in play. Flight out to right, 1 down. Next is Bob Gibson, who's a 12 pitcher hitting card. That's a 7. That's in play 61. So fly to right again. Back-to-back flyouts to right field. Out there is Swoboda. And Lou Brock homered to give the Cards their only run. This is Wheelhouse. Wheelhouse 87, though, this time. That's a ground ball second base. That retires the side. Ronnie Swoboda leading it off against Bob Gibson. Gibson looks in for the sign. It's a tough pitch. Strike 3. That's strikeout number 5 for Bob Gibson. Jerry Grody. 7 is in play, 40. It's a pop-up right side. Looks like Huntz is calling for it. Makes the catch. 2 down. 1-1 ball game in the top of the 4th. 2 out. Kevin Collins. 7 is in play. 10, and that's a ground ball through the right side for a single, a 2-out single for Kevin Collins. So that's his first hit of the season. And he's a happy camper. And here's Tommy Seaver. Right, not too much is going to happen here. That's an 8, which is a tough 97. That's a strikeout. Number 6 for Gibson, and that retires the side. It's going to be Flood leading it off. Flood, Pinson, and Torrey against Seaver here in the bottom of the 4th. This game's really moving along. That's a tough out. So that's an automatic out. And that's a strikeout. Oh, no, excuse me. That's going to be a pop-up to the first baseman. Right there's Cranepool, one away. Beta Pinson next. 11 is wheelhouse, but it's a 72. And that's a ground ball to short. Buddy Harrelson up with it. Throws out Pinson, 2 down. Joe Torre. Joe Torre versus righties, 287 with 12 home runs. That's in play. Fly to left. Right there's Jones. We go to the top of the 5th. Buddy Harrelson against Bob Gibson. 6 tough. It's a 1-1 ball game here in the top of the 5th. That's a tough pitch, and Buddy can't handle it. Grounds it out to the shortstop. Dal Maxville gets him by a step at first base. Kenny Boswell now. A patient 0-0. So on a 0-0, I pull a defensive check card. That's going to be a potential error first base. Let's see, Torrey. His error rating is a 4 at first base. I'm going to look on the card. It's a 1 to 33. We rolled, well, we got to actually a 0-0 would not apply because we used it already. And that's a 27. What did I say it was? Forgot. He was a 4 range. I'm sorry, a 4 error. So that was 1 to 33, roll of 27. So that's going to be an error. Let's see if it's a 1 or 2 base error. 1 or 2 base error, and it's going to be a 1 base error. So Torrey allows the ball to roll off the heel of his glove on the grounder, and it's going to allow Boswell on at first base with an E3. Kenny Boswell's on at first. He's going to try to steal. It's a 6, so he does not go, and it's Amos Otis with 1 out. That's a 9. Tough pitch, 95. Fly ball left field, 2 out. Cleon Jones. 9 is a tough pitch. A tough 44 on Cleon Jones' card will be a opposite field liner into right field, and going to third is Boswell. So we have first and third, and I got to redo that. Erase that. First and third now with Eddie Cranepool. So the Mets here in the top of the 5th are threatening with a runner 90 feet away. The go-ahead run. It's a 1-1 ball game. So Bob Gibson is going to have to bear down against Eddie Cranepool. Eddie Cranepool, left-handed batter. Let me take a quick peek and see Eddie Cranepool's he's struck out so far and flat out to right based on what I have here. And he's batting .346 on the season. He's got 1 home run and 4 RBIs. He's 9 for 26. Eddie Cranepool. Let's see what Eddie Cranepool can do here. Bear down against Bob Gibson. That's an in play. Oh, 0-8. Eddie Cranepool comes up big, and that's going to be a sharp liner into center field. And this is going to put the Mets ahead by a score of 2-1. Ed Cranepool comes up huge. Hustling over to third is going to be Cleon Jones. And the Mets are up 2-1. Runners on first and third, 2 outs. So Ed Cranepool comes up huge for the Mets with a 2 outs RBI single here in the top of the 5th. Puts Mets and Seaver up by a score of 2-1. Come on, Swoboda. Snake Eyes, that's ballpark. 41. A righty. Oh, that's right in the wheelhouse. So we're going to have a real wheelhouse roll. So it's going to be 1 to 30. That ball's gone, and we roll a 37. And that's going to be a single. That's going to drive in another one. It's 3-1. It's a sharp liner in front of the left fielder. Kranepool's going to hustle over to third. Again, because Kranepool is a 6 running, so 2 outs, 6 or better, they take the extra base. Makes base running a lot simpler that way. You do have a couple in last game I had a player thrown out at the plate. So you do have plays at the plate. It's abstracted a bit. And it just depends on how often you want to have, throws to the bases all the time with runners getting thrown out. If you want to run through a whole game with that situation, then you play it that way. And it's going to be Jerry Grody. 3-1 Mets, top of the 5th. 2 outs. Runners on first and third. 4 is patient. A patient 27. That's ball 4. Bases loaded. Kevin Collins with the bases loaded. Kevin Collins singled in his last at bat. Here's a pitch. Again, in play, 42. Ground ball, third base. Third baseman's going to step on the bag, and that retires the side. Tim McCarver leading it off against Tommy Seaver. In play, 65. Ground ball, nope, that's lined and caught by the shortstop. Hey guys, who's there? Alan Shaw, good morning, brother. That's a good question about tough out. I'm not absolutely sure if it's on the I'm not too sure. I do know that certain pitchers are going to have tough out, particularly the ones that were very, very, effective in that season. Tom Seaver, for example, won 25 games, so he's going to have a couple of tough outs, 1 at 5, 1 at 6, and that just basically says that, how on the tough section sometimes you get base hits, where those base hits are nullified in that tough section. So when there's a tough out result, that's an automatic out. It'll be either a strikeout or something else. So that's how we play that. So it's Mike Shannon against Tom Seaver, 1 out, bottom of the 5th. That's a tough out right there, a 66. And that's a ground ball, second base. Kenny Boswell throws out Shannon. And it's Hunts with 2 outs. Patient, 34, and that's going to be ball 4. So that's a walk allowed by Seaver, a 2-out walk. Never like to see those. Maxville, tough pitch, 0-1. Strike 3. Retires the side. Seaver blows a fastball by Maxville. The look on his face is one of complete despair after Seaver shows off that fastball with 2 outs. Was not happy with that walk. Bob Gibson against Seaver. And it's going to be right back at you. Strike 3 against Seaver. So Seaver gets a taste of his own medicine against Gibson. Buddy Harrelson with 1 out, top of the 6th. In play. And that's ground ball, third base. Shannon across the diamond to Torrey. Kenny Boswell up. 2 outs, top of the 6th. 3-1 Mets. In play. Ground ball to short. Maxville across the diamond to Torrey, and that retires the side. Leading off is Bob Gibson here in the bottom of the 6th, 3-1 Mets. Snake Eyes is in play 19. In play 19, and that's a base hit. Ground ball up the middle and through for Gibson, so he's on at first. Don't want to allow the leadoff batter to get on. Brock is a tough pitch, a tough 68. That's a ground ball to short. Now, this could be a double play. Brock's number is a 5. We need a 5 or less. We do not get it. So that's a fielder's choice, 6-4. Brock is on now. Brock is going to go. We don't get that. Doesn't get the lead. Kurt Flood, 1 out. 4 is Patient. A Patient, 61. Ground ball, second base. We're going to try for another double play. 6 or less. And we roll a 6. So that's going to be, what did I say? 61 was 4-6-3 double play. Mets are out of the inning. Nice double play turned by Harrelson Boswell. And it's Amos Otis leading off the top of the 7th against Bob Gibson. 8, a tough 58, and that's going to be strike 3. I think that's about the 7th strikeout for Gibson off the top of my head. Cleon Jones has a couple of hits today, I believe. Tough 27, that's a strikeout. Back-to-back Ks. Gibson bearing down here in the top of the 7th. Kranepool, a thorn in Gibson's side. Kranepool, tough out 37. That's going to be line base hit to right for Eddie Kranepool. So Kranepool not letting up on Gibson's the second hit of the day. And it's Ronnie Swoboda, the pitch to Ronnie. That's in play 37. It's going to take us to a comebacker. Nice play by Gibson. Feels his position, throws him out, and that retires the side. Beta Pinson against Seaver, bottom of the 7th, 3-1 Mets. That's a ballpark result. This is going to be wheelhouse, 68. And that's going to be a hard hit, ground ball to the shortstop. Harrelson up with it, throws out the lefty Pinson. Now it's Joe Torre, right-handed batter. First baseman. That's a tough out, 94. Fly ball to left. Over towards the line is Cleon Jones. 2 down. Tim McCarver. Tough out, 0-3. Strike 3. Second time McCarver struck out. He's not easy to strike out. So Tom Seaver's at the top of his game. Bob Gibson, Jerry Grody, top of the 8th, 3-1 Mets. In play, 69. Won't do it. Ground ball, second base. Hunts. Flips to the first baseman, Torrey. 1 away. Kevin Collins, who has his first hit of the season today. This is his first start. That's ballpark. 33, a lefty. Wheelhouse, 74, outside the range. For a hit, that's a fly out center field. Kurt Flood squeezes it, and it's Tom Seaver here in the top of the 8th. Tough 0-1, strike 3, and that retires the side. Gibson fan Seaver. Mike Shannon in the bottom of the 8th. Seaver can go 7 more batters. Replay Baseball, the computer version, I'm doing the inputs, so the computer plays all my other games, keeps track of how many the pitcher can go for you, which is a really nice quality to have. Let's go Mets. Alan Shaw. I have the 2018 set, and there aren't a lot of tough out pitchers. Okay. Well, I don't think pitchers in 2018 are getting any outs. That's the problem. There must be a lot of easy home run. Is that a new section on the pitcher card in 2018? Hey, Al Red Sox fan. It's always great to have Al Red Sox fan, quality individual. I wish him the best. I give him a big hug from CP Cards and Dice, and welcome. All right, so let me update you guys. It's 3-1, bottom of the 8th. New York is ahead. Tom Seaver. There's allowed only 2 hits. Mike Shannon. And it's going to be I think we just did this one. All right. Here's the pitch. It's a 7. That's in play, 85. Let me double check that. 7 is in play, 85, and that's a ground ball to short. Buddy Harrelson to his left, throws on the run, and gets Shannon by half a step. And Shannon thinks he's safe. But then again, don't we all? Hunts. Pitch to Hunts. Ballpark, 98, but that's going to be in play, 77. That's way high. That's popped up. And that's second baseman Boswell calling for it. Makes the catch, and that retires the side. Oh, no, it doesn't retire the side. Excuse me. 2 outs. Dal Maxwell. Patient 96. It's a fly ball. Lifted to shallow left. Back goes Collins and Harrelson. In comes Jones. Jones calls him off at the last minute. Makes the catch, and that retires the side. Buddy Harrelson leading off against Bob Gibson. Now we're going to bring in a relief pitcher here because Gibson is reached his maximum. But Gibson has allowed 9 hits. So you can understand that it's time to relieve Gibson. I normally wouldn't do this. I'm just quickly trying to figure out who are the guys that Wazlewski is the guy who always pitches for them. So I make it pretty simple. I like replaying these older seasons. It's easy to replace, Wazlewski, actually. You know what? He's in the red. I got Horner and Willis. I'm going to bring Horner or Willis. Who do I got coming up for the Mets? All right. I'm going to bring in Horner. Horner's a lefty. Joe Horner rather than Wazlewski, because I can see that Wazlewski is red, which means he's been used recently. So Horner's got 6 batters he can face, and here in the top of the 9th, 3-1 Mets. That's plenty. Bud Harrelson leading off against Horner. And a tough pitch. Strike 3, Buddy Harrelson strikes out. 1 down. Kenny Boswell next. And now I got to look at the lefty side. That's a tough pitch. 18. That's a strikeout. Back-to-back Ks. Two outs in the top of the 9th. Horner against Amos Otis. I can tell you Horner's stats. Horner hasn't allowed a run, so his ERA is 0. Pitched 2.2 innings so far this season. So the game is actually keeping all the stats for me, which is nice. A nice change of pace. I usually have only the stats for the team I'm replaying. Amos Otis. What's Amos Otis done today? He's basically singled, flied out, and struck out. Oh, I got 2 Ks for him. Struck out twice, flied out, singled. Amos Otis batting 167, 3 for 18 on the season. All right, here's the pitch to Otis. Tough, 57, strike 3, side retired. We're at the bottom of the 9th. Tom Seaver's going for a complete game 2-hitter. He's got 4 more batters that he can face. It's the relief pitcher, Horner, who's leading it off, but that's not going to be. We're going to bring in a guy who does a lot of pinch hitting, Phil Gagliano. He is a righty, but it doesn't hit. He's about 250 hitter versus righty, so that's not too bad. So Gagliano is going to come in for Horner. Leading off the bottom of the 9th, it's 3-1 Mets. Tom Seaver, masterful as usual. Here's the pitch, 7 in play, 12. And that's going to be a ground ball up the middle and through for a pinch hit single for Gagliano. So that brings the tying run to the plate. And Lou Brock, he's hit a home run earlier in the game. That was the only run the Cardinals have been able to earn here in the game. That wasn't back in the first inning, so they've gone 8 innings without scoring a run. So Gagliano's on at first. Lou Brock, Seaver's going to have to bear down here. A 9 is patient. A patient 72 is a ground ball to short. This could be a double play. We need to roll 5 or less for the double play, and it won't be. So 72 is a 6-4 fieldless choice. So now you have Brock on at first. He's not going to run this time. Kurt Flood. 8. That's a tough 13. Strike 3. 2 out. So the Mets are 1 out away. The Mets and Seaver 1 out away from a 3-1 victory over St. Louis. Can Seaver get Veda Pinson? Veda Pinson is the tying run at the plate. He's got a 1-25 wheelhouse home run against righties. So if he got into the wheelhouse range, a 1-25 would tie up this game. So Veda Pinson steps in the box. Seaver looks in for the sign. There's 2 out. Bottom of the 9th. 3-1 Mets. The pitch. 5 is a tough out. Ball game over. 6-3. Tough out 6-3, and that is a ground ball to short. Buddy Harrelson fires to first, and that retires the side. Game over. Tom Seaver, masterful MVP He improves his record to 2-1, pitches a 3-hitter. The Mets had 3 runs, 9 hits, no errors. The Cardinals had 1 run, 3 hits, 1 error. Bob Gibson takes the loss. He's now 2-1. And the Mets improve their record to 7 wins and 4 losses. The Cardinals are 3 wins and 8 losses. They drop a bit. And let's look at the box score, and I'll give you any quick highlights from the Mets. A couple of ball players had 2 hits for the Mets. Cleon Jones, 2 for 4, batting .341, and Ed Kranepool, 2 for 4, batting .393. Players struggling: Buddy Harrelson, 0 for 5. He's at 200. Everybody else had a hit on the Mets. Kranepool got his 5th RBI. Kenny Boswell had his 2nd double of the season. Seaver struck out 5. Gibson struck out 10. And that's about it. MVP is Tom Seaver. And I hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast of the Mets-Cardinals 1969 season, which I'm replaying. And before I go, since it was a quick game, let me just show you some of the 1970s baseball cards I picked up. Put some things over to the side now. I played that chart list. I never looked at a chart once in that game. Those are the games I like to broadcast. Here's some of the Mets, as you can see. Ronnie Swoboda. Ed Charles was, I had to get that from, that's a 69 card because that was his last season he retired. He was the Mets veteran in that 69 championship series. Cleon Jones, man, he's looking like a kid. He must have been 22 years old. Tommy Agee. Rod Gasper. Gary Gentry. Wayne Garrett. Al Weiss. Jerry Grody. All these clean-cut guys. By the 70s, everybody has a beard, had big old mustaches, long hair. Don Cardwell, Bobby File, and then Tom Seaver, New York Mets pitching leaders. Tug McGraw, World Series team picture. Jim McAndrew, another of the Mets starters. Buddy Harrelson, 140 pounds, holy smokes. Al Weiss. I got a second Jerry Grody? Oh, no, I was looking through the, okay. Art Shamsky. Joe Fay. He must come on later on in the season. Don Clendenin, he's going to get picked up from Montreal. Joined the team around June 15th. Kenny Boswell. Mets show muscle. NL playoff game 2. Mike Jorgensen, first base. Gil Hodges, manager. Ron Taylor, pitcher. Tom Seaver. His card wasn't included in the set that I picked up, so I had to get his card separately. Nolan Ryan wasn't included. I had to get his card separately. And Jerry Kuzman, pitcher. Ray Sadecki, Duffy Dyer, catcher. Ed Kranepool, there he is, good old Ed Kranepool from the Bronx. Cal Coons, J.C. Martin, and Jerry Kuzman. So that's my 1970 Mets collection, which I pull out every so often just to get a feel for the uniforms, the look of the players that, I barely remember. So anyway, this is CP Cards and Dice. I'm glad you enjoyed. Oh, you're doing an 87 replay of the Red Sox? Oh my goodness. Because I don't know if you know, but I'm doing an 87 replay of the Mets. Yeah, that's funny, man. And I think I'm up to game 25. And Darryl Strawberry has 15 home runs in 25 games. But I'm using APA. What system are you using? Molly, if you're still here, what system are you using to play the 87 Red Sox? Thanks, Al. Payoff pitch. Oh, very cool. All right, what am I using? I'm using APA. I'm doing APA Basic. Because and I think you've seen that. I think you've seen that. And you commented how you felt like you should, play APA a little bit more than you do. I play it because, it was my childhood game. So I play it for those reasons. It's not, it's very, I call it the atomic age game. And I think you guys heard me say this before. Because it hasn't, and I actually researched this. There's a place where you can look at the changes that have came about in the game pretty much. from my understanding and from the research that I've done, the game didn't change since 1958, 59. That was like the last major change where I think they added like XYZ. After that, it's pretty much stayed in place. You know, it stayed the way that it is. So it's like, what is that? 40, 60 years, the game hasn't really changed much. And when you play it, you get that sense that, hey, this thing hasn't changed much in a long time. Canadian football. Sounds good, Alan Shaw. Make sure we check in Alan Shaw's Canadian football coming soon. So that sounds exciting. And that's it, man. So this Seaver comes out big. He wins it 3-1. Mets improve their record to 7-4. I got to look at the standings. Eventually, I'll do that. I'll get to know the program a little bit better. I'm still learning how to do. I'm just still trying to figure out how to do a double switch. I think I figured it out, but I'm not sure. But I'm not going to do it on live. And this is CP Cards and Dice. That went by 40-minute replay. That was pretty quick. And this is CP Cards and Dice saying thanks for stopping by. And I will see you guys later again. I may play one other game or two more games. I want to get back to Inside Pitch. If you guys haven't tried Inside Pitch, please try. I know that Molly just received the set. It's a blast. Inside Pitch. It's still right here on the side. I will not remove it from my table. That's how good it is. The next series, it's at Fenway Park. Yankees, I believe it's at Fenway Park. Let me see. Oh, or is it at Yankee Stadium? I have to look. It's a Yankee Boston series. Not sure if it's at Yankee Stadium or Fenway Park. I have to look at that. But that's going to be a heck of a 4-game set over the weekend. I believe it's starting Thursday, going into Sunday, and I'm going to play that over the weekend. And this is CP Cards and Dice saying thanks for stopping by. IP is a blast. Start 86 Mets replay with IP. Aha. Okay, that's interesting. I'd love to hear these projects. 86 Mets replay with IP. All right, that's cool. That's not a bad season to replay. They won 108 games that season. I'm doing the 76 replay with IP. So I'm doing a 76 replay, but I'm using Ballstat, which doesn't keep stats for everybody. But I already started, now that I learned replay, and I know that replay can keep stats for everybody for me, and I could input my team stats. I'm like, oh man, maybe I should start everything and just pick up the seasons and play it that way. That way I would have stats for everybody. But I don't think it's always that important. It's nice to have, but if you've already started the season, you're already like, I'm in my 29 deep drive replay. I've got 40 games played. Man, wouldn't I love to have all the stats for all those players hitting all those home runs and all that, and compare my guys to those guys and on and on. That would be fun to have. 2018 Rangers. How did you get into the 2018 Rangers? and did they not have? Did Bartolo Colon pitch for the Rangers in 2018? Or am I wrong on that? That would be pretty funny because he was at the end, Bartolo Colon. Unless he's coming back against it this year, unless he's been resurrected, I don't know that Bart Colon has accepted being retired yet. So I wouldn't know about that. You're a Rangers fan. What? I'm in Texas, dude. I'm 3 hours away from the Rangers. Man, that's crazy. A couple years ago, I went to 3, 4, 5 Rangers games. I saw Derek Jeter in his last season, 2015. I went to see the Rangers up there, and we went up there for 3, 4, 5 games. We watched 3, 4, 5 games, and against the Yankees, and then against some other team, and that was Derek Jeter's last season. AL girly baseball fan. First MLB game I saw, Rangers won at Minute Maid. Oh. So Molly was in Texas, and he didn't ring me. That's not cool. So Minute Maid, yep. I went to see Robbie Cano. I'm a big Robbie Cano fan when he signed with the Seattle Mariners. And 2016, yeah, that's when I think I went 2015 to see Robbie Cano at play. It was Seattle versus Houston at Minute Maid. Yeah, I agree with you, Alan Shaw. DH ball, where pitchers are too precious to pick up a bat. Yep. So let me set up the next game here while you guys are talking. I don't want to cut you off. So that's it. We're gonna go 10 of 10 games. Next is Sunday. Sunday we're gonna autoplay some of these games here. Seattle, Chicago, Oakland, and Kansas City. Nash versus Butler, 69. I don't know many of these players, to be honest with you, in 69. Messerschmitt versus Boswell in California versus Minnesota. Autoplay that. Detroit, Wilson versus New York, Fritz Peterson. Autoplay that. Denny McLain. So this is a doubleheader at Yankee Stadium. Denny McLain is going 3-0, is going against Burback. Autoplay. And who wins? McLain loses his first loss of the season. Baltimore, McNally versus Washington. Hannon. Autoplay that. McNally wins 3-0. Baltimore at Washington. Harding versus Bertana. Atlanta versus Cincinnati. Kay Johnson versus Malone. I don't know any of these guys. LeMaster versus Osteen. I know Osteen. I mean, I've replayed LA a bunch of times. Chicago, Freddie Jenkins 2-0 versus Morton at Montreal 0-0. And who won? Jenkins is 3-0 now. He won that game. So that's how it replays it automatically. Where's my Mets? Are they not playing on Sunday? I guess not. Montreal, Chicago, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and San Diego, San Francisco. Huh. Crazy. So Monday games now. Or that, wait a second. It may have been rained out on. Oh, that was Monday. All right. All right. So it's going to be. Let me see. That was the 11th. The game I just played. 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. Let's see. Tuesday the 15th. That's been played. Wednesday the 16th. I don't know what happened. Did I just by accident play the whole season? Every game's in play now. I don't know what I did. Let's see. Let's see what I did. Standings. Oh yeah. Oh no. It's weird. All right. Let's go back. Let's figure this out. Let's figure this out. Ah, that's why. Because I didn't. All right. There it is. Okay. We're on. Where are we? It's going to be McAndrews versus Bryles. So that's the next game that we're playing. So let's get Bryles. I'm going to set this up. Nelly Bryles. And it's going to be McAndrew for the Mets. This is how I set up my games, I guess, like everybody else does, right? Jim McAndrew. And McAndrew, Mets are 7-4. St. Louis doesn't say what. The record. McAndrew's 1-0 against Bryles, who's 0-2. So we're trying to track McAndrew here. You get a lot of cards with payoff pitch baseball. I highly recommend payoff pitch baseball if you want to do a as played replay. If you don't care about as played replays, then it doesn't matter. Let's see. Harrelson, Boswell, Otis. So again, the same lineup. Harrelson, Boswell, Otis, Cranepool, Sabota, Grody. Collins again, but it's going to be McAndrew. McAndrew is a 5 pitcher hitting card. Yeah, never discussed the. Yeah, they definitely don't want you talking about politics, because the more we talk about politics, the more we discover what they're doing to us behind our back. So they always never want you to talk about politics. They say, oh, that's too controversial to discuss. That's how they get out of it. And it's very controversial when you're doing something wrong. That's a given, right? When you're doing something wrong, when it doesn't make you good, we can't talk about that. That's political, and that's very controversial. But if it's you doing something right, leading the world, they don't stop talking about it, right? Or if you're portraying yourself as doing something good, then it's like it's fine to repeat 1,000 times. Just like if it's something that says I suck, well, that's fake news. But it's something that says I'm great. Oh, that's just good journalism. But let's not get me started. If you know me, you know I don't hold back very much. All right, Lou Brock, Kurt Flood, Veda Pinson, Torrey, McCarver, just checking the lineups. Shannon, Javier this time, Hunts. So this is the beautiful thing. Like all the lineups pretty much stay the same. So when you're setting up these teams for your replay, it goes by very, very fast. So I think I found Bryles already. So now I'm looking for Julian Javier, who's back. He took a day off. I'm looking for Javier here in the huge deck of gorgeous cards made by Payoff Pitch. I don't think anybody here doesn't have Payoff Pitch. So that's why I don't have to be like, yeah, you got to get Payoff Pitch, because I don't think anybody that watches my channel doesn't have Payoff Pitch, because I don't think it's possible. So that's it. He's a pitcher hitting card 4, Bryles is, and I'm set for my next game. I'm going to just I didn't use many fast action cards. Now, this is a chartless game, 99% chartless, and used with the fast action cards. So there's no better way to play this than with the fast action cards. And I got to take care of some business, so I'm going to take off. So, guys, I will see you later. I will play some more games tonight. And this is CP Cards and Dice saying take care.